Hello everyone. So this is my holiday look. What I want to say has been an interesting process for me over the last few years in understanding myself and my quote unquote perceived differences is now it all makes sense. After my son was fully diagnosed ADHD and autistic, they go and look to the parents and get an assessment for the parents, and then I was told this far into life that I am apparently autistic one as well. When I announced this to my world, and particularly my own mother, my sisters, those closest to me, I had a plethora of different reactions that were quite disappointing that I'm sure many people with any diagnosis will find that happens in the world. First off, you're not allowed to really truly express who you are or be yourself, which is in itself for autistic people really difficult because much of their perceived masking to fit into this world subtly is still being reinforced that you're not really quite able to be who you want to be. For myself in particular, this really, in a family where I suspect both of my parents were actually autistic, it was a rejection again, because you are rejected throughout society if you don't fit into society, whatever that may be. Also, I feel that for people who struggle with other perceived disorders, okay, whether it's bipolar or depression or anxiety or just being a little different, even the stigma or the negativity from the own psychological world of, whether you're borderline or being labeled narcissist, how hurtful it is for people to sort of be rejected in some way as being different from the norm, whatever that norm may be. I think for most of us, we just want to be accepted or, lovable the way we are, to be able to express ourselves however we naturally are. And so if you have found yourself to be dealing with a sense of rejection from your family, from your friends, or even just disinterest, because they're probably not researching the subject as much as you are if you are diagnosed or assessed. They probably out of ignorance don't even know necessarily what this means, and they don't know necessarily how to handle it, because maybe it even brings up feelings for them. Maybe it triggers them in some way. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't still unmask. For me personally, I had to get comfortable being in front of a camera. I had been acting a lot when I was younger because this is what people think. And especially in some cases, I would say if you are at all semi-attractive, you will be more likely to not be diagnosed correctly because people assume that attraction means you don't have disability. So in my case, I found myself acting a part or sort of being out there in pictures however people wanted me to be, but it wasn't necessarily who I really was. What I mean by that is showcasing